Okay, so I'm going to go to the whiteboard. I'm just going to put problems on the board and make sure y'all understand how to do 6.1. Since we've covered all of 6.1. So let's put one on the board and start off easy to remind you what we went over last time. 2 times x minus 3 plus 7 is equal 3 times x minus 1 plus 4. Okay? That's nothing but distributive law and combining like terms. So you should be able to do that within a couple of minutes. And then we'll do one with fractions, and then we'll do one with decimals. And hopefully y'all remember what we went over last week. All right, so what we do first? Distribute 2x minus 6 plus 7 equals 3x minus 3 plus 4. Now, usually, after you use the distributive law, what always comes after distributive law? Combine like terms. That always comes next. So, what is negative 6 plus 7?
1.
And what is negative 3 plus 4?
1.
Take my little x across the river. Take my big X across the river. Take my other one across the river. So 0 is equal to x. That's
That's
it.
where I screwed up.
What?
That's where I screwed up, because I always thought that it was, if you minus 1 from one side, you have to minus 1 from another.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do the x's before I did the 1s. I did the 1s first, and then I did the x's.
Always remember the x's take priority, because that's what you got to get by itself. Always deal with the x's first. And why did I take the 2x over instead of bringing the 3x over? Always keep the variable what? Positive. Always keep it positive so you avoid the negative. Now, let's talk about something. What happens when you get an answer that doesn't make sense? This is a solution. Write that down. This right here is a solution. What does that mean? That means if I plug in 0 to that function, I'm going to get a true statement. So, if I plug in 0, 0 minus 3 is negative 3, right? Negative 3 is negative 6 plus 7 is 1. And if I plug in 0 over there, I'm going to get 1. There is no way in Hades I could make this come out to be 0 if I tried. That's just luck, okay? So, the solution, if you plug it back in, plug and chug back in, you get a what statement? True. You get a true statement. 1 is equal to 1. So that's a solution. Solution means x is equal to a number. All right? Well, what if x is not as equal to a number? Well, what if you get 5 is equal to 181? Well, one of two things is happening here. Can somebody guess one of them? One, you've done something wrong. Or this is an untrue statement. An untrue statement means that it's a contradiction. A contradiction means that you have no solution, meaning the problem cannot be solved. So you need to write that down. If you ever get an untrue statement, and you will see one in the homework or test, and you can bet your bottom dollar on a standardized test, you're either going to have a solution, meaning what? X is equal to what? A number. Or you're going to have a contradiction, which means what? What kind of a statement? An untrue statement. Is 5 equal to 81? No. 5 is not equal to 81. So therefore, it's not a true statement. Now, should you go back and check to make sure you haven't screwed up somewhere? Yes. But if you haven't screwed up anywhere and you get an untrue statement, that means it's a contradiction and means that there is no solution to the problem. What if I get something like this? 5 is equal to 5. X is equal to x. 2x plus 5 is equal to 2x plus 5. What are all of those statements? True. True. If you get a true statement, that's called an identity. I'm just going to put ID, I-T-Y. Identity. And the result of an identity is all real numbers or infinite solutions. So when you're doing algebra, how many possible outcomes can you get? 3. 90% of the time you're going to get these. Okay? 90% of the time you're going to get a real solution. But every once in a while, you'll be doing a problem and you'll either get an untrue statement or you'll get a true statement. So make sure you make a note of that. Capiche?
Capiche.
And everybody should have got 0 on that one. Let's try nerd. One third times x minus 5
The fraction.
plus 1/6 is equal to 2 times x minus 4 plus 1/2.
Hubert, you just made my brain hurt watching you do that.
What, this one or the last one?
This one?
I haven't done it yet.
I know you just wrote it.
Well, that's what you bring alcohol to class for.
I'll get in trouble. Is that a 2 or a half?
Well, 1/2. 2 times x minus 4 plus 1/2. So we got to multiply through by a common denominator, and we got to multiply by 4 terms. The 1/3, the 1/6, the 2, and the 1/2. Have you been drinking? Are you fixing to throw up or what? Heck, sneezing, coughing, hacking. Oh, let's go home.
You need to wear your mask to work.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, you're so funny. I'm going to multiply by 6/1. Damn Ukrainians. Y'all nowadays, y'all can impeach a president just by hearsay.
I was just asking her about that.
Yeah, just no, you don't need any proof.
Where's your proof at? Well, you see what had happened was.
Yeah, this guy told this other guy that,
This guy told this other guy that then told this other guy that told me that this happened and impeach.
and they changed the whistleblower rules 2 months ago. Now, isn't that convenient? I never thought, you watch this kind of stuff in the movies, and you see these people just flat out lie, and you think, I'm glad we're, and then you watch these people, and it's sad. Sad.
Don't you have to just put one over the 2 and do that?
I'm not on the clock right now. I'm going to put a baby step in there for you. I'm going to take the 6/1 and I'm going to put it beside each one. 6/1, 6/1, 6/1, 6/1. Now I'm going to rewrite my equation. 1/3 x minus 5, 1/6, 2/1 x minus 4 plus 1/2. And that's multiplied. Now what is 6 divided by 3? So that's going to be a 2. What's 6/6? 1. 6 times 2? 12. And 3. And now I rewrite my parentheses. And now you got algebra 1 problem. Isn't it amazing how easy this stuff is? Because you're using you haven't used anything. All you've used is 7th grade and below math.
Hubert, we're not going to talk about how long ago I was in 7th grade.
1,000 years, right? What?
Close to.
What made I do what?
Because you have to get rid of the fraction.
To getting rid of the fraction, you multiply through by the common denominator. What's the common denominator of 6, 2, and 3? 6. No. What did we do? What did we spend all that time on? In Unit 1, yes. Unit 1, you write 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11.
And then you do common.
That's if you can't find it. But if you have two prime numbers like 2 and 3, and the other one is the product of 2 and 3, then you can use that problem. But you have to come up with shortcuts like that on your own. So you'll learn them. And yeah, it's been 1,000 years. Because when I advise students, they say it's been 500,000 years since I've been in school. And I'm like, really? You're not older than I am.
Close to it.
No, I'm 107. 2x minus 10. I'm sorry, did you say something? I didn't hear you.
I said you ever taught somebody older.
I mean, what?
Have you ever taught somebody older?
Oh, yeah, I've advised people and taught people older than me. I've taught people I graduated high school with. 12x minus 48 plus 3. All right, combine like terms. 2x is equal, 2x minus, you owe $10, you have $1, you owe $9. 12x, you owe 48, you have 3. That's more like my bills. You have 48, you have 3, you owe 45. I'm going to take this 2x across the river, and I'm going to bring that 45 across the river. What's 12x minus 2x?
10.
And what is negative 9? You owe $9. You have $45.
36.
36. Negative 36 or positive 36?
Positive.
Then divide by 10, and you can simplify that with x, or you can make it a decimal, 3.6, or you can say 18 over 5. Somebody help me out. 18 over 5, or you can make this a decimal and move it one place to the left and say 3.6. Whatever the directions tell you to write. Years. And I'm always older than the oldest student, so it doesn't matter. I tell students that no matter what. Most of the women agree with me because they're all 29. All the women are 29. You didn't know that? They stop having birthdays at 29 and start having anniversaries. So they only get to 29.
This dude asked me the other day if I was 28.
Boy,
It has been 18 years since I was in 7th grade.
oh gosh, you ain't nowhere.
You know how old that
God,
makes me feel?
You're 107. Let's see, 0.18 times x minus 3.
Since I was 28, don't I'm that old.
Is equal to 0.27 times x minus 1 plus 1 plus 5. And I'm going to make sure you understand that's a decimal. That's a decimal.
About 100.
So yes, you're going to multiply through by 100.
Okay, so is the reason why you did that because that's the biggest part of the decimal?
furthest
Like I'm trying to
decimal
figure out where
point.
you get it.
The furthest decimal point. So the furthest decimal point is the 100th. The 8 and the 7 is in the 100th spot. So you're going to multiply through by 100. If all of them were tenths, you would multiply by 10. If all of them were hundredths, you multiply by 100. But if you got mixed, you go with the furthest. So that would be 100. Because that will move the decimal point to the what? To the right 2 places. So I'm going to take my handy dandy magenta and multiply through by 100. I'm going to put a baby step in here so you don't screw it up. 100, 100, 100, and 100. Not going to do it yet. I'm just going to rewrite everything. I'm going to put magenta parentheses around the 100 so you'll know it's multiplication.
All right, now I'm confused.
Why are you confused?
This part's I'm watching you.
Do you understand why I got 4 100s there?
Yes.
Because I distributed here, 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 and there. Because I can't touch what's in the parentheses because I hadn't used the distributive law. Okay, now, whenever you multiply by 100, how many zeros do I have?
2.
I have 2, so that means I got to move the decimal to the right 2 places. That gives me, and I'll make that a different color. That gives me an 18. So what does that make my 5.5?
50.
50. So I take my, see what I do for y'all. I write in different colors. Y'all just don't appreciate it.
I love your color coding. It helps
1, 2. So that's going to be
27.
0.27. I'm sorry, 27. I'm worried about the colors so much. Can't even think. And then I'm on 100 times 5. Y'all should be able to do that in your head. Now I'm going to rewrite my brackets.
See, I thought I was wrong when I got that.
What?
I thought I was wrong when I got 500.
No.
I second guess a lot if you haven't noticed.
I think you should quit.
I
Now.
tried. My husband won't let me.
Oh, shoot. That self-improvement and the husband thinks he's going to improve and all that, that's just a bunch of crap.
Right.
All right. Bernie's going to take care of all of us and give us $30,000 a year.
That would be fantastic.
When I find it.
I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah. And then Michelin moves back to Europe, and Bosch moves back to Europe, and McDonald's moves to Europe,
I moved to Europe.
and then we're all left over here living in a third world country.
You chugged out like it was a beer.
No, just had a couple of swigs left. I'm not a big beer drinker, believe it or not.
I'm gonna tell you what, Tom Brady's only brought me 3 points.
Look.
Luckily, I don't have a addictive personality toward bad things.
I'll stop watching. I could do it. I'm always get mad.
I mean, I don't know. My team. I was like number 1.
Always bad.
I'm first 170 every week. Scored 106.
I'm always.
Oh, what's that?
He wasn't on his game last week.
That's my backup running back.
Is it like
Just right.
Yonder.
Trying to do it back.
Watch
I dropped
it.
mine.
Feel it.
Pick up.
Yeah. Put some
You
mold.
figured it out.
oh no, she's just laughing. What'd you say?
I don't know. I put some molds.
You spelled it
Good God. Yo.
wrong. M-A-L-E.
Oh my God.
Tell you what,
L-I-E-S, right?
Gaskowski. Jason.
Okay.
Gaskowski could make it feel good.
Yeah, I'm addicted to Mexican food.
I thought they had tamales. my bad. That makes it
18x minus, oh gosh, we can't do 18 times 3 because we got to use a calculator. How about 54?
Families?
Miss Cowan, help them out.
She don't know it either.
No, you don't know either? Okay.
I spelled it out for him. I tried to.
Let me see.
I can't believe y'all don't know what famales are.
He signed his contract.
Y'all know what famales are?
Oh.
Pirates?
Oh, they're gonna write out the same way I wrote it.
Did you say Somalis?
Famale.
Tamale.
Famale. I was
Tamale.
talking about addiction and I said famales. And these people at Anderson, they haven't figured it out yet.
No, not Molly's.
See, I thought he said Somalis. I thought he was talking about
I thought
pirates.
he said tamale.
And I thought he was talking about tamales, the food.
So nobody's figured it out yet.
Yeah.
We
And
did.
then he said
You finally
addiction, so
figured
we
it
put
out.
Molly together.
Yeah.
I don't think they figured it out.
Famales are the, okay, forgive me.
Females.
Yes, finally you figured it out.
Oh, I didn't. I just said it.
All right, what is negative 54 plus 50?
Negative 4.
Negative 4, good job. Equals 27x. Oh, I don't know, somebody might need to punch that in the calculator. I'm gonna bring the 18 over across the river. Bring the 527 across the river. 27 minus 18 is what?
No.
Is it 9? I get it mixed up between 9 and 11. Okay? And negative 531. Y'all check my math.
They had to do the 50. I mean, the 5. It goes
So
to
we move it twice.
No, not the 0.5, but the 5.
Oh, where'd that? Oh.
But
Did everybody check 27 minus 18 and negative 4 minus 527? Nobody's going to talk to me. Okay. I got negative 531 over 9.
59.
that's all. Let me rewrite.
Somebody check my math.
We're trying to check ours. Too.
You're thinking about famales.
I'm actually thinking about my dog just at home.
Oh, dogs are stupid.
Oh, whoa. He's good. Here's a lot of money.
No, I'm not mean. I'm just pragmatic. I'm real. Now, you give me a dog that lays beside the fireplace and barks once a year, that dog's smart. But one of these dogs that tear up the furniture and jump all over you and scratch you and slobber all over you, I want
I
to
got
strangle
power
it.
cars.
break
Y'all
his
don't
neck.
even know about that.
Our dog don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We might, if she don't get better, we might have to put her down.
Hey,
What's wrong with her?
She's bleeding.
She's
Internally. She might be internally bleeding.
Oh, bless her heart. I hate that for you. So you're not stupid, man. No, the one, I like Fred on Smokey and the Bandit. And that's all he barks once a year. I cannot stand it. When I was growing up, my dad would make me go surveying. And we would survey the lots with a half-acre of land. And they'd have like 25 dogs on that half-acre of land. And all of them doing what? Barking. So to this day, I cannot stand being around dogs, much less
I have
having
a
them.
husky in mine, and they just like to talk.
meal beside her.
I cannot stand puppies
I want
either.
everything.
Breast stinks. Okay.
Oh, their breath, oh my god, their breath smells so good for puppies.
Like a little.
She's on something. All right, how we doing up there, Pendleton? I mean, Easley, how we doing? Everybody good? All right, so
Yeah.
y'all ready for one that will pretty much do you in?
Absolutely not.
Yep.
So what was your final answer on that?
I said negative 150. What?
I thought you could do it as a decimal though. I'm confused.
Well, all you gotta do is
Yes, they
change
got it wrong.
Yeah.
But did you do negative?
What did I get? Because I didn't, there it is, negative 531 over 9.
But I got negative 59.9.
Well,
Now,
divide
you
53.
wouldn't divide negative 531 by 9?
If the directions said write it as a decimal, you would.
But then when I did that, I get negative 59.
Yes.
So that's where
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I'm sorry.
That's what I
What?
It's a
got.
whole number. It's negative 59.
I got a whole number.
The negative.
I did too.
So your math must be wrong.
I got
I don't know
negative
what you're
59.
talking about.
The final answer can be.
Divide negative 531 divided by 9.
Well, 9 will go in there. It's what, 6 times? That'd be 54, so it'd be 5 times.
Negative 531 divided by 9 equals negative 59.
Okay, what's the problem? What'd y'all get up there easily?
I got the same thing.
Well, then what's the problem?
Because I thought it was supposed to be a decimal. I didn't think you could get a whole number. And then you left it as a fraction. If you go into a whole number, then
So
why
you're
is it a
telling me
fraction?
that in real world,
I don't know.
if you multiply or add numbers, you can't get a certain number? Like I said, I'm sorry, Easley. She's high on something. I don't know what she's high on.
Must be
But
that.
we'll just have to excuse her. We're going to do an intervention after class. After I turn off the recorder, we're going to do an intervention.
Intervention.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Y'all might as well forget this because y'all ain't going to get this one. 1/5 times x minus 4 plus 0.5 equals 1/3 times x minus 7 plus 0.2. And I'm going to change this to a 2 because I'm being lenient on you.
Right.
And then cancel this one.
If you want to do it the real difficult way, yeah. I would multiply through by the common denominator and see what happens. I think it's catching. I think both of y'all are high now. It's gonna spread up to easily. They're gonna start laughing out of nowhere.
But I quit.
Yeah, it's so hard. Yeah. Spell mom backwards.
Oh,
Oh, I've got 6 cents. What do you want me to do with that?
That reminds me.
I shut down Highway 81 McDonald's one time. The manager had to go out and get a calculator. And he looked at me and he said, "How much change do we owe you?" I said, "I'm not telling you."
Oh my god, you said that.
And then after they gave me the change, I said, "I hate to see how much money y'all are losing at the cash register because you got people that can't. You got inept people up here running the cash register."
But they want $15 an hour, Hubert.
Bernie gonna take care of everybody.
let's just print more money. That'll fix everything, right?
No, Bernie
Only if it went.
and what's her name? Warren, they're gonna put a millionaire tax and a billionaire tax. And if you make over $1 million, you have to pay 5%. And if you make over $1 billion, you have to pay 12%.
Doesn't Bernie live in like $1 million home?
He's got 3 homes and a jet.
Shoot.
God bless.
Must be nice.
Equality.
Oh,
I'm gonna show. I want to like go knock on his door, and be like, "Hey man, I'm moving in."
And a lot of people don't understand why that's. He makes 100 and something thousand, 125, 130,000 a year, and he's been in Washington for over 40 years, and he's a millionaire. Something's wrong with that picture. What did Truman say? If you retire from politics a millionaire, you're a crook, because you're not supposed to.
It's gonna be Trump.
I'm going to multiply through by. Everybody thinks Trump is dishonest. He's the only one that's giving up his paycheck. But they don't report that.
That's all I ever hear about.
He gives his paycheck up to gave it up to the veterans last paycheck.
So that's what I did wrong.
Why am I multiplying by 10?
$5 million.
Why am I multiplying by 10? Well, what's the common denominator of 2 and 5, and it also clears the decimals. Unless you want to do something more difficult. What's 10 divided by 5? 2, Hubert. That's right, class. What's 10 times 0.5? What's 10 divided by 2? And what's 10 times 0.2?
2, Hubert.
Thank you for the interaction.
I just said it.
Oh, you mumble. Now, y'all ready to finish it?
She said.
How many of you stared at it for 15 minutes? Y'all not gonna ante up and say y'all didn't stare at it? If you can do these problems, this is the 4th one, isn't it? If you can do these 4 problems, you can handle any problem I give you on the test. And the majority of the test is going to come from this section. (2x minus 8 plus 5 is equal to 5x minus 35 plus 2. What's negative 8 plus 5?
Negative 3.
Thank you. And 5x. What's negative 35 plus 2?
33, negative 33.
And I'm going to bring the 2x over. And I'm going to bring the plus 33 over. And I get 30 is equal to what? And x is equal to what? That's a whole number. It can't be right.
I was thinking the same thing, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
That 5 times x minus 7, where did you get that 5?
Hey, look, that one piece of paper lasts my whole class.
Did you do like the 10?
What's 10 divided by 2? You got to multiply it by the 1/5, 0.5, the 1/2, and the 2, and the 0.2.
Okay.
That's why every one of them's in. That's why I got 4 magentas up there. That's why the 2 and the 5 and the 5 and the 2. That means I multiplied it by 10. Get that number.
Hey, Mr.
What do you
Hubert,
think? Huh? What'd you say?
you know how much Hitler? You know Hillary Clinton's net worth?
Leaving that one
Well,
alone.
she used to be, before the election in 2016, she was only worth like $236,000. Now she's like $5 billion or something.
In
5 billion.
2015, her net worth was $45 million.
Yeah.
Look, and
I
Bill
know.
gave that up for Monica. Just saying.
We ain't going there. Okay? We're not going there. There's too many puns we can do there. We're not going there.
About to be some like.
All right, let's try nerd.
Wound up getting in a car wreck on the way over.
I'm gonna give you one
There
more.
was me again. Just no, it wasn't me.
Okay? One more.
Wasn't him, but he wrote a book on how he do it.
1/2 x minus 7 minus 0.01 is equal to 0.02 times x minus 1 plus 1/4. Now this one I would concentrate on the decimals, and you may be able to clear all 4 of them if you pick wisely with the decimals. Stormy Daniels has to pay for all the Trump's legal fees. I think that's hilarious. She still hadn't paid them.
Probably never will.
You're knocking out all 4 of them. Yeah, if you pick wisely, you're going to knock out all 4 of them. Yeah, just come on back whenever. That's fine. Just leave and come back whenever.
That's what most people do.
Yeah.
Can you tell us to do that?
Y'all remember what y'all want to remember.
Oh, they just never come.
All right, I'm going to multiply through. What am I going to multiply through by? Well, focus on the decimals like I told you to. How do I clear those 2 decimals? I'm asking y'all. That's not rhetorical.
Multiply by 100.
Good job. Got one person this way. Is she still slobbering on herself? Please take her outside. All right, so what's 100 divided by 2?
50.
And what's 100 times 0.01? What's 100 times 0.02? What's 100 divided by 4? Now you can rewrite your formula. I mean your equation.
Yeah, I can do
All right,
that
go to it.
Send me home. Do my homework. Another story.
Calculator forward. My gosh. If you have to use a calculator to multiply 50 times 7, that's sad. $50x minus 350 minus 1 is equal to 2x minus 2 plus 25. Negative 351, as in the engine, forward, equals 2x plus 23.
Oh.
So I'm going to bring the 2x over, make 48x. Take the 351 over, 374. So x is equal to 374 divided by 48, and you simplify the fraction or make it a decimal, depending on whatever the directions tell you to do. And that's how you do several poly-step equations. Now, I gave you 5 problems today. What you need to do when you go home today, instead of working on the homework, you can work on the computer homework 6.1 whenever. If I was you today, when you get home or whenever you start working on homework, I would take a clean sheet of notebook paper or 5 or 6 sheets of notebook paper and rewrite these and change something. Change the 7 to a 9. Change the 1/2 to a 1/4. Don't change it to a 1/3 because you can't divide 3 into 100. Okay? Change the 1/4 to a 1/5, and then go through and redo it. Change every one of these 5 that we did today. If you can do all 5 of them and get a decent answer, in other words, you think it's right, then you're good to go in 6.1. If you can't do them again, then that means we need to go over some more. Okay? I want you to go ahead and work on the 6.1 homework. When's the test due? Or is it due? I don't know.
I'm about to say, you get tested.
Unit 1 test, when is it due?
It was past the.
Okay, it's past due, so it's already over.
Yeah.
All right, then y'all need to work on 6.1 homework. Capiche?
There we go.
Probably.
All right, y'all have